The blood on my hands won't wash off. I'm scrubbing under cold water in a gas station bathroom somewhere outside Seoul, watching red spiral down the drain. My nursing scrubs are ruined. My shift at the hospital ended 6 hours ago. I should be home. Instead, I'm shaking in a fluorescent-lit bathroom because I just pulled a dying man from a burning car. And he won't stop looking at me like I'm something holy. 8 hours earlier, the hospital corridor smells like antiseptic and defeat. Zara, you're needed in 403. Nurse Kim doesn't look up from her charts, her voice crisp with practiced indifference. The American patient is complaining again. I swallow the response burning on my tongue. I've been a surgical nurse at Seoul Grace Hospital for 18 months, and I'm still the American one. Never mind that I'm from Chicago, that I came here on a medical exchange program that turned permanent, that my Korean is functional, if not fluent. Never mind that I work twice as hard for half the recognition. Room 403 is a businessman with a minor surgery recovery, demanding his pain medication early. I check his vitals, explain the dosage schedule in patient English, endure his wandering eyes on my dark skin like I'm exotic fauna. You speak so well, he says. Always this. Where are you really from? Chicago. I adjust his foreline. Your blood pressure looks good. Try to rest. My phone buzzes as I leave. A text from my apartment building. Rent increase. 200,001 starting next month. I do the math walking to the staff room. Even with overtime, I'm barely breaking even. My student loans back home don't care that Seoul's cost of living is crushing me. My mother's memory care facility doesn't offer family discounts. I'm drowning in slow motion and nobody's watching. Zara SSI. Dr. Park catches me at the lockers. Good work today, but maybe less time chatting with patients? We run a tight ship. The American patient complained. Of course he did. I was in his room 4 minutes. I change in silence, pull on my coat, walk to the subway. The November wind cuts through cheap fabric. I'm too tired to cry, too numb to be angry anymore. The subway's packed. I stand pressed between businessmen, invisible. My reflection in the dark window shows a woman disappearing. Zara Williams, 29, excellent nurse, financial disaster, profoundly alone. The train lurches. Someone's phone plays K-drama dialogue. I close my eyes. I almost don't get off at my stop. Almost ride to the end of the line just to delay going home to my shoebox apartment, to instant ramen for dinner, to spreadsheets that don't balance. But I do get off. I always do. The walk home takes 40 minutes. I'm saving subway fare where I can. The route cuts through quieter neighborhoods, past luxury apartments I'll never afford, under streetlights that flicker like dying stars. That's when I hear it. The crash is massive, metal shrieking, glass exploding, the terrible crunch of impact. I'm running before I process thought, my nurse training overriding survival instinct. The scene is chaos. A black sedan wrapped around a telephone pole, front end accordioned, smoke rising from the hood. No other cars involved. The driver must have swerved, lost control. I'm calling 119 as I approach, already assessing. The windshield shattered. I can see a figure slumped over the steering wheel. Emergency services, what's your car accident? Haebangkon area near the park. Single vehicle, driver unconscious, possible fire. My Korean is clearer in crisis mode. Send ambulance now. The operator's asking questions, but I'm already at the car door. It's locked. The smoke's getting thicker. The back door opens. He's there, passenger side, half conscious, blood streaming from a gash above his eye. Even injured, he's striking. Sharp features, dark hair, expensive suit torn and bloodied. His eyes focus on me with startling intensity. Don't move. I tell him in English, then Korean. I'm a nurse. Help is coming. He says something in Korean too rapid for me to catch. His hand grabs my wrist with surprising strength. He's trying to tell me something about the driver. I look. The driver's not breathing. I have to get you out first. The smoke's acrid now, chemical. The car's going to burn. Can you move your legs? He nods. Tries to shift. Gasps in pain. Ribs, probably broken. No time for careful extraction. I brace him as best I can. Help him slide toward the open door. He's heavy, solid muscle under the ruined suit. We make it 3 steps from the car before his legs give out. We go down together on the pavement. He's semi-conscious now, shock setting in. I check his pulse, rapid but strong. The head wound needs pressure. I strip off my jacket, press it to his forehead. His eyes open. Lock on mine. 당신은 His voice is rough. You came back. I didn't leave. Stay with me. What's her name? J1. His hand finds mine. Calm J1. The car explodes. I cover him with my body on instinct. Feel the heat blast over us. When I look up, the sedan is fully engulfed, the driver still inside. I couldn't save him. But the man beneath me is breathing, his hand still gripping mine like I'm an anchor to consciousness. Sirens wail in the distance. You're going to be okay, I tell him. Tell myself. His eyes haven't left my face. You're real, he whispers. I thought I imagined you. I don't understand. Don't have time to ask. The ambulance arrives, paramedics rushing over. They try to separate us, but J1 won't release my hand. She comes, he says in Korean. She stays with me. Sir, we need to. She comes. They let me ride in the ambulance. Seoul Grace Hospital at midnight is a different world. I'm relegated to the waiting area while they take J1 to emergency surgery. Broken ribs, collapsed lung, the head wound requiring stitches. I gave the intake nurse what little information I had. Name, approximate age, found at accident scene. I should leave. My part is done. But something keeps me in this plastic chair, still wearing blood-stained scrubs, unable to shake the way he looked at me. He came back. Like he knew me. Like I was expected. Miss Williams. A doctor I don't recognize approaches. Older, expensive watch. The kind of physician who treats VIPs. You brought in the patient Kong J1? I was passing by. Is he stable? Thanks to your quick response. He pauses. Do you know who he is? Should I? Something flickers across his face. No, of course not. He's asking for you. Once he's conscious, would you mind? I'll stay. 3 hours later, a nurse escorts me to a private recovery room. Not the standard post-op ward. This is the VIP floor I've heard about, but never accessed. Everything here is quieter, more expensive, invitation only. J1 is propped on pillows, bandaged but alert. His eyes find me the moment I enter, and the relief in them is staggering. You're still here. His English is unaccented, perfect. They said you wanted to see me. I wanted to make sure you were okay. Because you're a nurse. Because I'm a human being. I move to his bedside, can't help myself, checking his monitors, assessing his color. How's your pain? Manageable. He's studying me with that same intensity from the accident scene. Zara Williams, 29, surgical nurse. You transferred here 18 months ago from Chicago. You work in general surgery under Dr. Park, who doesn't appreciate you. You walk home to save money. You eat ramen 4 nights a week. My blood goes cold. How do you? Because I've been watching you for 6 months. I step back. That's not funny. It's not meant to be. He tries to sit up straighter, winces. I need to explain before the others arrive. Before this gets complicated. Before what gets complicated. Who are you? Calm J1. I run an import-export business. He reads my skepticism. Among other things. I have extensive connections in Seoul. Business ventures that require discretion. You're a criminal. I prefer entrepreneur. A ghost of a smile. 6 months ago, my mother had emergency surgery at this hospital. You were part of the surgical team. She had complications, hemorrhaging. You caught it, called the code, saved her life. I remember. A woman in her 50s, emergency appendectomy that went wrong. I was covering for another nurse on break, happened to check the monitors. After, J1 continues, you stayed. You held her hand during recovery. You told her about Chicago, about your own mother. You made her feel human, not just a patient. His voice roughens. She died 3 weeks later. Unrelated condition. But she talked about you until the end. The kind American nurse who cared. My throat tightens. I'm sorry for your loss. I started watching you after that. Just to understand who you were. Why you'd shown such kindness to a stranger. He meets my eyes. Then I couldn't stop. The way you work. Precise, compassionate, overlooked. How you give everything and get nothing back. You deserve better, Zara. So you had me followed? That's obsessive. Inappropriate. Dangerous. He doesn't flinch. I know. But I needed to know you were safe. That you were eating enough, sleeping enough, not burning out completely. That's not your concern. It became my concern the moment you saved my mother. It became my obsession when I realized you were slowly disappearing into this city, and nobody was fighting for you. The door opens. 3 men in dark suits enter, not hospital staff. Security, private muscle. They defer to J1 immediately. Kyungnim. The tallest one speaks in rapid Korean, something about the accident, police, containment. J1 responds sharply. The men glance at me, uncertain. English, J1 says. She deserves to know. The tall one switches languages. The accident was intentional. Rival organization. They cut the brake lines, tampered with the steering. The driver, he stops, is dead. J1 finishes quietly. Lee Dong-min, 12 years in my service. Family man. I'm sorry I couldn't, I start. You pulled me from a burning car. J1's voice is steel. You saved my life. That's not nothing. The men update him on retaliation plans, territory disputes, damage control. I'm piecing together the truth. This isn't just import-export. This is organized crime. Real power. Real danger. I should run. Miss Williams needs protection, J1 says suddenly. She was at the scene. She's connected to me now. That makes her a target. I'm not connected to you. I'm a nurse who helped at an accident. You held my hand in the ambulance. You're in this room right now. By tomorrow, every syndicate in Seoul will know you matter to me. He looks at his men. Around-the-clock detail. Best team. I don't need. Yes, you do. J1's expression is implacable. I've put you in danger just by existing. Let me protect you. For how long? Until this is resolved. A few weeks, maybe. He's lying. I can see it in his eyes. This isn't temporary. Whatever this is, his obsession, his guilt, his need to repay the kindness shown to his mother, it's not going away in weeks. I want to go home, I say quietly. Not safe. I have an apartment. Secure building, full security. You'll stay there. I have work, already handled. Medical leave. Paid. My temper flares. You can't just rearrange my life. Watch me. He softened slightly. Please, Zara. I'm asking. Let me do this. Let me make sure you're safe while my enemies regroup. The reasonable thing is to refuse. To get hospital security, call the police, extract myself from this insanity. But I look at this man who watched me for months, who knows I eat ramen too often, who's offering protection I desperately don't want to need. 1 week, I hear myself say. Then I go back to my life. 1 week, he agrees. Another lie we both pretend to believe. The apartment is a penthouse in Gangnam. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble everything, the kind of wealth I've only seen in magazines. 2 security guards are stationed at the elevator. A third sweeps the space before allowing me inside. I'm given the master bedroom, obscenely large, with a bathroom bigger than my entire apartment. My overnight bag looks pathetic on the designer bedspread. J1 is discharged the next morning against medical advice. His people bring him home in a convoy of black cars. He's moving carefully, obviously in pain, but his eyes find me the moment he enters. You stayed. I said 1 week. You could have run. I could have. Should have. Where would I go that's safer than here? It's the wrong thing to say. Admission that I understand the danger, that I'm choosing this. His expression shifts to something almost vulnerable. I'll stay out of your way, he says. The apartment is yours. I'll use the guest room. But he doesn't stay out of my way. He's there at breakfast, silent but present. There when I try to cook dinner, offering corrections to my terrible kimchi technique. There in the evenings, working on his laptop while I read, the silence comfortable. 3 days in, I find him on the balcony at 2 a.m., unable to sleep from the pain. I make him tea, check his incisions without asking permission. You're healing well, I say, but you need to rest more. Can't afford rest. The retaliation planning can happen without you for 8 hours. I'm using my nurse voice, the one that doesn't accept arguments. You're no good to anyone if you collapse. He looks at me like I'm speaking a foreign language. When's the last time someone told me to rest? Probably your mother. Something breaks in his expression. She would have loved you. Really loved you. Not just been grateful. Actually loved who you are. Tell me about her. So he does. We sit on the balcony as Seoul glitters below, and he talks about a woman who raised him alone after his father died in a gang war, who built an empire to protect her son, then handed him the reins when she got tired of blood, who wanted him to be more than the violence that made them rich. She wanted me to be happy, he says quietly. I didn't know how until I saw you with her. The way you touched her hand. Like she mattered. Like she was worth tenderness. She was. So are you. He turns to face me fully. I know this started wrong. The watching, the control. I know I should let you go. But Zara, I've spent 6 months learning everything about you. And I don't know how to stop caring that you're working yourself to death for people who don't see your value. So you decided to kidnap me in a luxury? I decided to give you space to breathe. No rent stress. No cruel doctors. No spreadsheets that don't balance. Just space. That's not real life. Why not? His intensity is back. Why can't this be real? Why can't someone fight for you? Because I don't need saving. I know. You're the one who does the saving. He reaches for my hand, hesitates. I close the distance, let him take it. But everyone needs someone in their corner. Let me be that. Not because you're weak. Because you deserve it. The week passes. Then too, I stop mentioning leaving. J1's enemies make their move, a coordinated attack on his shipping operations. He handles it with cold efficiency, then comes home exhausted and lets me tend his headaches, his stress, the weight he carries. I learned the rhythms of his world, the calls at odd hours, the men who report in clipped Korean, the careful balance of power and fear that keeps the peace. I also learned the man beneath the reputation, who brings me mangoes because he noticed I like them, who learns to make my coffee exactly right, who listens when I talk about nursing, about the cases that haunt me, about my mother who no longer remembers my name. I can help with that, he says one morning. The memory care facility. I have connections in Chicago. I don't want your money. It's not about money. It's about making sure she has the best care. He's careful now, learning not to overstep. But only if you want. No strings. I think about pride. About the months I've struggled alone. About the difference between accepting help and losing myself. Okay, I whisper. Thank you. That night, J1's uncle visits. A granite-faced man who speaks no English and radiates disapproval. I catch my name in the rapid Korean. See the way he gestures at me dismissively. J1's response is quiet but absolute. The uncle leaves furious. What did he want? I ask. To remind me of obligations. Business marriages, alliances. J1 pours himself whiskey, drinks it fast. I told him those obligations ended the moment you saved my life. That I'm building something different now. Different how? Legitimate. Clean. My mother wanted me out of the violence. You make me want that too. He sets down the glass. You make me want to be worthy of the way you see people. Like everyone deserves tenderness. I cross to him. This dangerous man undone by kindness. You are worthy. I'm a criminal who stalked you. You're a man who lost his mother and found hope in a stranger's compassion. Who protected someone because you could, not because you had to. I frame his face in my hands. I see you, J1. The real you. And I'm choosing to stay. Not out of fear. Out of love. He kisses me like I'm salvation. 6 months later, I'm back at the hospital. Not as an overlooked surgical nurse, but running a new trauma protocol funded by J1's foundation. He's transforming his empire, slowly, carefully, moving from shadows to legitimate business. It's dangerous work. There are threats, challenges, enemies who don't accept change. But he comes home to me every night. To the penthouse that became ours. To the life we're building from violence and kindness. How was work? He asks over dinner I cooked, his fingers laced with mine. Saved 2 lives in the ER. How is your day of becoming a legitimate businessman? Exhausting. Worth it. He pulls me close. I met with your mother's care facility. They say she's responding well to the new therapy. My throat tightens. Thank you. For everything. Thank you for pulling me from that car. For staying when you should have run. For teaching me that being feared and being loved are different things. We're not a conventional love story. We're a nurse and a criminal, kindness and danger, a moment of crisis that became a lifetime. His world still has edges sharp enough to cut. My past still has debts and distance. But we're building something new. A foundation built on the truth that everyone deserves someone who fights for them. That love isn't about saving someone. It's about standing beside them while they save themselves. J1 learned that protecting me means respecting my strength. I learned that accepting help isn't weakness when it comes from genuine care. And together, we learned that sometimes the most dangerous thing is letting someone matter. But it's also the most human thing. The most necessary thing. The truest thing. I didn't save a Mafia king that night. I saved a man who'd been watching a stranger, hoping to learn how to be gentle again. And he gave me space to stop drowning. We saved each other. That's how our story doesn't end, but begins, in crisis and blood and a moment of choice. In learning to build a life from broken pieces. In discovering that home isn't a place. It's the person who sees your value when you've forgotten it yourself. Seoul glitters outside our windows. Inside, we hold each other, two people who found belonging in the last place they expected. We're home.